Welcome back. I'm Angela from arteri.co.uk. Today we're going to be taking a look at these Nuvo shimmer powders. Now I only have two of these. I've never really used them. I think I've used one once to make a card, but that was last year I think. So I thought what better way to use them again than to try and make a video. I say try, you'll see why in a minute. So this one is Meteorite Shower and this one is Catherine Whale. And these powders are highly pigmented. You only need a small amount for your projects, a tiny amount, because a little goes a very long way. They are water reactive. Some beautiful things happen when you add water to these, and I'm just going to show you a few ways that you can use them. There are many different methods you can use with these out there, so if you decide that you want to look into it a bit more, please search YouTube for some wonderful videos. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use watercolour paper because it does involve quite a bit of water, at least one of the methods does. Right, so what I usually try and do first off is show you my fails. This was a bad fail, but taking no notice of the actual style or what went wrong, you can see how beautiful the shimmer is on there. You get an absolutely gorgeous shimmer. So with this, what I did was I put a little bit of powder on an embossing folder, sprayed it with water, and then ran the card through, and it didn't work out right. I don't particularly like it. I mean, it could still be used. I could die cut parts of it out to use on other things. Right, so what you do, this first method, very simple. Can you see there how much I'm putting on or how little I'm putting on? That's probably even too much. But you just hold them and you just tap gently. I'm always frightened to put too much on because that's what I do. Okay, so for this method we are going to actually spray some water. I do recommend you use a proper water spray, like a plant sprayer or something like that. This one's a bit too forceful when it comes out, but never mind, we'll have a go. Oh, can you see how beautiful those colours? And the more you put on, the more of an effect you're going to get. And that is just lovely, isn't it? So the only thing is, if all of the powder is not activated with water, then it will come off. But what you can do with this, for instance, there's a little bit there. There's a bit too much there for me, so I'm just going to take a little bit off with some kitchen roll. And you can put on as much or as little as you like. I like that for a card background. I think if you had a nice big sentiment in the middle there, that's probably all you would need. So you can leave that to dry, because you do have to leave them to dry, because when they're dry, they just go even better. They just go absolutely lovely. So I'm going to take that off there. I'm going to put it to one side to dry, and I'll show you another method. Right, one thing to point out, make sure that you clean it up as thoroughly as you can, because if there's any lying around and you're trying to work with white cardstock and there's any on your fingers or any on your work surface, it will transfer. It's very pigmented. So for this next method, I'm actually going to spray the card first. I'm going to put quite a bit on and then add the powder and see what happens with that. You can see it is moving around quite nicely there. This is a different look altogether, isn't it? All the different shades and everything that you get in. That's really nice. And if you wanted to cover more of the background, you could put loads more water on if you want, and then just get a paintbrush and just move it around. That's what I did for one of my cards that I'll show you at the end. This gives a more subtle background, but nonetheless attractive. And then if you want to, you can get some of that water up around the edges. There, very subtle background, but it has covered more of the background than the other one did. So that's another way to go. I'll show you one more. It would be so much better if you could get a wonderful mix of colours in there. But never mind, I'm going to put this one to one side as well and let that dry. For this one, this is the last one I'm going to show you, but do have a look around out there because there are many, many different methods. So this time, I'm going to put a little bit of red there. You don't need much. Spray it and use it as a kind of watercolour. Just blob it how you like. And because it is so pigmented, you can just keep adding water to it if you want to splatter. Anyway, that's not one of my better ones, but you get the idea. You could die cut that, you could put a sentiment or die cut out something to put on there. It's just another way to go. I'm sure there are many things you can think of that are better than I've done there. But they're just, so you can use it, you can water it down to splatter it on. You can put the water on the card first, you can put the powder on the card first and then the water. But you do need to add water, because if you don't, then you're just going to end up with a dry, mucky mess that's just going to transfer onto everything. Right, so these aren't completely dry yet, but I just wanted to show you how well they do dry. I mean, I don't know if you can see the shimmer on there. I wish you could see it in real life. It's got a beautiful shine on it. And I just love this background. I think that one's my favourite. I think that would make a nice card. This one is much more subtle, and I'll show you a card using a similar background to this. But again, there's that lovely shine. I hope the camera's picking it up, because it is lovely. And of course there's this one which was just neither here nor there, but I'm sure something could be made of that as well. If not, maybe perhaps I can emboss it and you do something with that. I do like to emboss these when I've used the shimmer powder. I'll show you a card that I made using a Hummingbird die. So this is a very similar background to that one there. But with this one, I embossed the background. Cut out, oh, that's got something on there that wasn't there a minute ago. That's because I've been really rough with my spattering, but never mind. So I cut out 3 of these and stuck them together to give it a little bit of dimension. I just put a sentiment on, I put a dot on for the eye, and then a couple of little dots there. But even though it looks nothing like that, if you emboss it and then add your decorations, it can look really nice. So this one is the opposite. This one did not go very well, so I thought what I would do is cut out the bird from the background and put it on a white piece of card, and of course I embossed the card. I don't really like plain white backgrounds for things like this, so I embossed it. I embossed the white card, just put that on, another gem for the eye, and then another sentiment. This one is another fail. This did not go well because I'd cut this one out of there, and then I thought perhaps I can use that as something else, but it didn't really go well. For a start, I forgot to trim off that edge, and then I didn't put it on. I put it on a bit wonky there, but I don't know if you can see that shimmer in there. What I did was I made my own shimmer spray using this. It's all-purpose ink. It's frost white all-purpose ink, and some isopropyl alcohol. And what I did was put a bit of alcohol into a spray bottle and then added a few drops of that ink. It doesn't take much, and then sprayed it on the card. I'll do it on here so you can see how it looks. Make sure you give it a good shake before you use it. You should perhaps use it over a box. Put it inside a box and then spray it on. But I don't know if you can see that beautiful shimmer there. So that might save you some money on a shimmer spray, because I can imagine you can get a lot out of that. And just keep using it and using it. But yeah, that's just added a little bit of something else. Give it a bit more of a shine. So I don't know whether or not that was helpful, but I think I'm going to make a card, at least with that one, and then I'll see what I can do with that and perhaps showcase it on another video or on my blog at some point. So if you have any ideas, or if you have anything you'd like to show off, please feel free to post on my blog, or let me know if you'd like me to open my Facebook group, and I'd be more than happy to do that. I would love to see the things that you come up with. Well, it took me about 2 hours, but I managed to get 2 cards finished. One of them, the other background just went bye-bye. I don't want to talk about it. This one's my least favourite. I didn't really like the background for this one, so what I did was put it through a really pretty embossing folder, which made it look much nicer. I just put a sentiment on and a few Nuvo drops. And this one I think turned out much better. I do like this one. So I cut out a sentiment and the sentiment background. Then I cut out the same background using craft foam, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And I just put some more Nuvo drops on. They were just the white crystal ones, I think, so translucent, so they seem to be taking on the colour of the background where they touch with that, which I think is really nice. And on both of these, I don't know if you can see it, but I did add a little bit more of that homemade shimmer spray. I'm not sure if you can see it. You can see it more on this one, I think. I'm not sure what you can see in the camera and what you can't, but I think that shimmer spray makes all the difference to backgrounds, especially backgrounds like this that are a little bit artsy and a little bit abstract. So I'm just going to wait for those Nuvo drops to dry, because I know from experience they do take a good while to dry. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate everything you do, every subscriber, every watch, every like, every comment. It's absolutely amazing to me, and I really appreciate all of you, every single one of you. So thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye now.